Welcome to part 1 of our 3-part series, covering our week-long summer fall drive trip, taking us from Christchurch to the Catlins at the bottom of the South Island of New Zealand. That's right, we're exploring the Deep South. We'll be tackling Otago's most iconic fall drive tracks and destinations, as well as some of the lesser known spots in the area. Join us as we trade the typical hard wheeling for some tough touring, and hunt for adventure, epic campsites, remote huts and memories that will last a lifetime. Part 1 takes us from Christchurch to Roxburgh, covering the iconic Mount Buster and Serpentine tracks. However, just getting to the start of the tracks ended up becoming a bit of a nightmare. Beautiful day to break down. This is not how the video was meant to begin. Before we'd even started filming, and about 3 hours south of Christchurch, the gearbox in the beater truck gave up the ghost, the flex plate cracked and took out the oil pump in the gearbox, and we lost all drive. We are currently in the process of removing the transfer case so that we can then remove the gearbox so that we can see the smashed up flex plate and have it all ready to put the new box and flex plate in. Alright, you adjust.
Would one of you girls mind coming and holding a rag? That sort of one.
More flex plate.
Right, where's this going? What do you reckon, Joel? Pretty toast? What a mission. What a mission.
All that for that.
Righto, so jumping forward 48 hours from where the gearbox let go. As you saw, went back to Christchurch, replaced the gearbox and had the truck running at about 6 o'clock last night. Jumped on the road and drove till about 11 o'clock and found this lovely wee camp here. Just beautiful wee spot, and yeah, it's a bit wet, so we're not going to bother having breakfast. We're going to head up Danzi's Pass and yeah, go find a hut where we can cook some breakfast, a bit more of a brunch. But yeah, beautiful, beautiful spot. We found this one on Adventure Guide. All the tracks that we're doing today that are on Adventure Guide, I'll link down below. But yeah, it's starting to rain again, so I reckon we hit the tracks. Going up north with a rosé wine, stars ain't hard to find. I love the best and you're by my side, that's my peace of mind. Damn, even on the gold day, she just wanna roll with me. From the bar to the stool all night, just you and I, two-stepping in a dive bar. Two-stepping in a dive bar. Two-stepping in a dive bar. As per usual, Elsa and I are in our Land Rover Discovery 2 TD5, affectionately known as the beater truck. It doesn't really need explaining, it's kind of a piece of junk, but it gets us around the country and we absolutely love it. We're also joined by our friends Joel and Michaela in their GQ Safari. It's a pretty basic setup, it's running a rear locker, 2-inch lift in 33s, and has a turbo TD42 under the hood. You may recognise it from one of the recent trips to the west coast where Joel put this truck through its paces. Neither of these trucks are particularly intended at, long distance touring. However, we stripped out some seats, made some space, and we've packed all the gear in, and it's going to be a good week. Beautiful day for it. Having headed through Danzi's Pass and with the weather only getting worse, we'd begun the Mount Kyburn track. This track would usually promise massive views as it works its way up to the summit at over 1500 metres. However, today it promised horizontal rain, strong winds and heavy fog. What better way to start a summer trip? The goal was to reach Tailings Hut, down in one of the valleys where we would have some shelter to get some breakfast on the go.
This is epic, guys. It's so hard to film because it's freezing cold and raining outside, but there's a small gap in the weather and we are literally driving above the clouds.
I'm just going to jump in here and say thanks to a few people who really saved the day when it came to the gearbox situation. Firstly, massive thanks to Joel. He spent what was meant to be the first 2 days of our summer holiday flat-towing the disco to meet the trailer, then helped pulling the gearbox out before helping fit the new gearbox the next day. Matt also saved the day, driving to Timaru with a trailer to haul the disco back to Christchurch on. Meanwhile, Jono, who was on holiday from Auckland, and his mate Campbell drove to pick apart and pulled a gearbox out of a wrecked D2 and had it waiting for us by the time we were back in Christchurch. Thanks to Rick, we had a shed with a hoist and that made life so much easier. Ilsa and Michaela drove around town getting parts, bringing us food, and had us all repacked ready to roll out at 7 PM the day after the gearbox packed us ad. There were many more helping hands and I'm so grateful for all the help. It really was a massive effort.
So this is Tailings Hut that we've just arrived at. The track in was, it was awesome, if a little bit longer than anticipated. It was just a bit rougher and slower going. It was a shame because absolutely epic views. Oh, well, there should have been, except for the fact that it was super windy and the cloud was really low and it was raining. Like, when I say windy, I'm talking the rain was going horizontal straight across the windscreen, and freezing cold, could hardly see a thing. So we missed out on most of the views, so we just kind of put our foot down and made it to Tailings Hut. We're gonna have some brunch. It's about 11 o'clock right now. Have some food and then have some food and then we're gonna cruise on out of here. Now that the wind's died down and we're in the valley and it's not raining, I'll be able to get the drone up because I was really hoping to get that when we were up on the tops, but wasn't meant to be. That's all good, we'll just have to come back. But yeah, have some food, cruise on out of here, and that'll be the morning done and dusted. But yeah, got quite a bit to go still, so let's get some food in us. Righto, we've had our brunch, all washed up, ready to hit the tracks again. Oh, this is just so good to be out of the city and in such a remote spot. It doesn't get much better than this. Like, I'm loving it.
With time well and truly getting away on us, we got back in the saddle and pressed on. The goal was to make it to a camp in Roxburgh by nightfall, another 150 kilometres south of us. It was already midday, which should be more than enough time to crank out those 150 k's. However, in between us stood the Serpentine Road, which promised deep mud holes which would eat up our hours. For now though, we enjoyed the shelter of the valley as we headed towards the Mount Buster diggings, our next stop for the day.
This track is absolutely epic, but in saying that, it's still nice and simple. So we've got the girls driving, getting a bit of seat time. Oh, that was nearly over my gumboot. That was a close one. So we've got the girls driving. So if you've got a more simple truck, I highly recommend checking out this track. As I said before, All of these tracks will be linked down below, where you can find them on Adventure Guide. It's a paid app. There is a free service which has a bunch of awesome locations you can get to, and then for track information it's a monthly cost. Very minimal, especially if you're spreading it over the cost of a road trip or something like that. Highly recommend it, so make sure to go check it out. It's an absolutely massive amount of land they dug out over there, eh?
Must have been real keen on that gold.
I reckon. Righto, well we have made it to the epic Mount Buster diggings. This is a very neat historical site, and yeah, just awesome to see how much excavations were done. It's truly remarkable, but unfortunately this place is at risk of being shut down due to people coming in and full driving and driving up the hills. So if you're coming here, drive in, park up like we have, take a look around and just enjoy it. There's no need to go try and drive up to the top of these hills or through the water. Like, yes, I am a full driver. I find it very tempting myself because it just looks like an awesome time, but please don't ruin it for everyone. Just suck it up and enjoy it with your eyes. Go for a walk, check it out, but don't go digging trenches everywhere because you decide you need to try drive your truck to the top of the hill. With that being said, how epic is this? Something else. I'm going to climb to the top of the hill, go join the others and go check it out.
It's awesome. It's like being on Mars or something with oxygen.
It's pretty unreal. Far out, we're basically out of the track now, but must have been a lot of rain up in the headwaters because the river we were following was clear, but this one is absolutely pumping with extra water. It's all coloured up. There's still no worries obviously, however, yeah, that's usually just a trickle, that's way up. So we finished up the Mount Buster area, and we're headed down about an hour south to go and hit the Serpentine. Again, I'll be popping details for the Adventure Guide route of the Serpentine down below. That has to be the easiest centre diff lock hookup that I've done. Straight up onto the wee axle stands and click. Really need to make the linkage up though. Anyway, this is the beginning of the Serpentine track. We've just come up the first K or two of the track. It's just a grass paddock. What a beautiful area. So this is looking back towards where we came. We came from up in the mountains way up over somewhere around there. As you can see, the weather's doing all sorts of things. All these epic rock formations. So yeah, we'll chuck it in a low box, start cruising up the track and see what our first challenge is. This is already gate like 3,000 for the trip. This is going to be a trip of a lot of gates. Right, so we're not far into the track and nothing challenging at all yet. However, one of my local friends gave me a heads up that they'd had a lot of rain recently. So while the track is dry, like the ground is dry, although it's just started raining again, there's a lot of standing water around. So it might make for an interesting trip. We'll see how we get on. Alright, well, we made it to the first boggy area. Basically, this has just been caused by people, you know, trying to find a way around, and just making it wider and wider. It's just no good. Obviously, it's a huge area that's been spread out, but we're now going to try and work out which one is the best one, and then send the trucks on through.
I thought you said follow me through.
Despite looking quite dry, I broke straight through the crust and went down to the diffs, and it was game over. A quick tow out and it was time to try again.
Gave it a wee nudge, but yeah, 33s aren't touching the bottom of the ruts properly, so I'll take the high points.
The big patrol went down pretty hard. The ruts were deceptively deep, and with 33s and the larger diffs that the Nissans run, Joel was diffed out pretty badly. However, it was just a case of a quick winch and we're soon back on the tracks and ready to go find the next obstacle.
Righto, well it's been pretty uneventful to be honest. It's probably the easiest I've ever seen it. Honestly, like a lot of it we're cruising just at like 30 or 40 k's an hour, but here's the Serpentine Church. And it's not a lot to see here, but from 1872 off the top of my head, well not the top of my head, just what I think I heard a couple minutes ago, but yeah, old church. There's a big gold rush. Everyone came here, they built a church and then found no gold and everyone left. Anyway, speaking of leaving, I think that's what we're going to do because the weather is packing in and it's getting late and I think everyone's ready for some food, so we're going to boost on out of here. There's still a bit more wheeling to go and then we'll be onto Lake Onslow Road.
It was a really good day, siempre okay. Fuma mucho mari, so I feel lost in space. It was a really good day. Me llamaste a las 3 de la mañana, viene con tu drama. 99 problems, me ahogo cuando traes más. Solo quiero resolverlo por ti. Me encanta cuando cocina desnuda para mí. Arroz con habichuelas y un poquito Hennessy. Cantando una bachata en la casa mientras bailamos. No quiero cambiarlo, solo quiero aguantar por ti. I don't wanna change it, I cannot explain it. I know it was a really good day. It was a really good day. It was a really good day. En mi mente, this is God's plan. En mi mente, el camino va a ser claro. Y mi tiempo va a ser claro. ¿Dónde está mi reina? Pero divina, cuando me toques, I'm safe. Un buen día, tú sin camisa, prende el blon y maneja con visa. El camino va a ser claro y mi tiempo va a ser caro. El camino va a ser claro. Cambiarlo, solo quiero aguantar por ti. I don't wanna change this, I cannot explain it. I know it was a really good day. It was a really good day. Hey, hey. It was a really good day. Hey, hey.
There we have it, Serpentine, done and dusted. Pretty easy. We only managed to make it hard by taking a couple of silly lines intentionally. Yeah, that was pretty mint. From here we're going to cruise on out towards Lake Onslow and then out towards Roxburgh. So yeah, crank out some Ks and go set up camp. I think it must be like 6 o'clock by now, so late in the day, definitely ready to get out of this cold wind and yeah, have a sleep. But yeah, absolutely beautiful landscapes. We finally got a bit of blue sky. Unfortunately it's far too windy to put the drone up. Just endless views. The camera does not come close to doing it justice. And then bad weather over there, which of course is kind of where we're headed. Anyway, on the road.
After a quick rinse off at the Lake Onslow outlet, we headed for Roxburgh. Golden hour was hitting and it was absolutely beautiful as we worked our way down into the valley. It wasn't long before we hit the tarmac and we were only a few minutes from camp.
Righto, so I didn't bother filming any of it, but we made it into just short of Roxburgh to a nice wee campsite, all set up, and yeah, we've had a feed. We're going to watch a movie, but I reckon we'll wrap this video up here. This is only the first of many videos from this trip. We're doing a full week of wheeling, so yeah, make sure to stay tuned for that by hitting subscribe. Give us a like if you've enjoyed today's video and leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think of it. Do you like the touring, or are you all about watching the hard stuff? Anyway, we'll catch you all in the next one. Cheers guys for watching. We'll see you then.
Should have told them to look forward to the new cooking segment on next week's video.
How cool is this, Els?
It's like moonwalking.